Picture this. It's 6:40 in the evening, the sun still hasn't let up, and you're standing there in yesterday's socks, hose in hand, watering the same flower bed you watered yesterday and the day before that. You already know how this ends. In 2 days, when you leave for the weekend, or you simply forget one evening because life happened, half of it is going to wilt anyway. If that scene feels a little too familiar, it was never you. It was never your schedule, your memory, or your lack of a green thumb. It was the plants. Somebody handed you a garden built for a climate that doesn't exist where you live, and then blamed you. I'm going to hand you 9 perennials built by nature to ignore drought the way a camel ignores a desert. Every one of them is sitting on a shelf at your local garden center right now, probably marked down because nobody realizes their value. Plant number 9 just won a title serious gardeners are talking about. Plan number 4 is a hero for your local ecosystem, and plan number 1 has a root system so aggressive it can find water that every other plant has given up looking for. But first, I want to save you from the mistake that quietly kills more drought-tolerant plants than actual drought ever does. Think of that first year less like gardening and more like laying pipe underground. You're financing a root system, encouraging it to dig deep. Do that properly for 1 season, and starting in year 2, these plants shift into a mode where they can vanish under rainless weeks. The second variable is drainage. These plants evolved in lean, gritty ground. The real threat is water pooling around their roots. If you have heavy clay, work coarse grit and compost into the soil, or mound the planting area so water sheds away. Every plant coming up works across USDA zones 4 through 9, covering most of the US, UK, and southern Canada. Number 9 is sedum. The National Garden Bureau just named it their official perennial plant of the year for 2022. Sedum is a succulent. Every leaf functions like a tiny water tank, storing moisture during wet weeks to use during the dry ones. Upright types like autumn joy build blue-green mounds capped with flower heads that deepen into rust red by late summer. Number 8 is Russian sage. It climbs 3 to 5 feet tall on silvery stems that reflect heat away from the plant. Both deer and rabbits tend to steer clear of it, thanks to the strong scent locked into the foliage. Number 7 is coneflower, or echinacea. Once established, it shrugs off poor soil and blazing full sun without missing a beat. Leave a portion of those seed heads standing through winter, and goldfinches will show up to strip them clean. Number 6 is yarrow. I recommend this for the baking slope that turns everything else to straw by July. Number 5 is lavender. Overwatering is the only thing that reliably kills it. Give it full sun and soil that drains fast. Number 4 is black-eyed Susan. This plant is a keystone native species, supporting 90% of local butterfly and moth species. One modest packet of seed can turn into a full, sweeping drift of gold, covering the same space next summer. Number 3 is sea thrift, sometimes sold under the name sea pink, and its backstory explains everything about why it belongs on this list. In the wild, this plant grows wedged into windswept coastal cliffs, rooted into thin, salty, practically nutrient-free soil. Which means the average dry conditions of a typical backyard border aren't a challenge for sea thrift, they're an upgrade. It forms tight, low mounds of grassy foliage that often stay evergreen through mild winters, and in early summer it sends up round, palm-shaped flowers. Because it stays so low and compact, it's one of the best choices for edging a path, tucking into gaps between stepping stones. Number 2 is catmint, and if you've ever walked past a garden border edged in a soft haze of purple-blue flowers that never seems to quit, it tolerates poor, dry soil without a single complaint and keeps flowering for months, which is genuinely rare for a perennial this forgiving to grow. Here's the one trick. If it starts looking a little tired or leggy, one hard shear back triggers a completely fresh flush of foliage and flowers. It also happens to be one of the best partners for roses. Hiding the bare leggy stems, roses tend to develop near the base. And now, number 1. The plant that earns the top spot, and one that almost nobody outside the American West has ever heard of. This is rabbit brush. What makes that survival possible is an extensive, deep-reaching root system that hunts for moisture far below the surface where others have given up. That relentless root system pays off spectacularly in late summer and early fall, when rabbit brush bursts into bright, golden yellow blooms. Pollinators respond to it almost instantly, making it one of the single most reliable late-season nectar sources you could plant. You now have all 9, but a list of plant names alone won't give you a garden that looks intentional. Think in layers. Your tallest plants, Russian sage and rabbit brush, belong toward the back or center of a bed where their height can be appreciated. Your mid-height plants, coneflower, yarrow, and catmint, fill the middle layer and do the heavy lifting for color from early summer through fall. And your low-edging plants, sedum and sea thrift, belong along the front border, softening hard lines while physically crowding out weeds. Now, the mistake. People hear drought-tolerant, plant it, and walk away starting on day 1. That approach fails almost every single time. Year 1 is about establishment. Water deeply once or twice a week because deep watering trains roots to travel downwards searching for moisture. By year 3, most of what you just learned about only needs supplemental water during the worst, most extended dry spells. One last piece of homework. Dig a hole about a foot deep, fill it with water, and let it empty. Then fill it again. If it's still sitting there after 5 hours, amend heavily with grit and compost, or move these into containers where you control the soil. If there's a specific problem spot haunting your yard, shade, a slope, or clay, tell me in the comments and it might become the next video. If this just saved you from bringing home the wrong plant, subscribe because this is only the beginning of what's coming.